Good evening. We're doing a real executive mic check. The executive version, instead of saying testing 1, 2, 3, you go A, B, C. So, with that said, are you all having a good time so far? Well, here's what we're going to do. I'm in charge for about 3 minutes. So you do everything I tell you to do, and do it fast. Ron Rivera, hold up your hand. Give Ron Rivera a big hand. Who is that guy? Look, what I want to do right now, we're going to be starting the program formally here pretty quick. But what I want to do right now, first of all, I want you all who are sitting so comfortably at your round table to begin to move up here right now. That's what I want you to do. Please do that. Now, if you've had too much to drink, we can get somebody to help you up here. But come on up here right now. We want you to be closer. So, give me some leaders out there and help me get people up here close. I want you to meet a few people, and I want you to be able to see them. And so we want you up here. And if you need to, you can bring your own chair. Very good. You all are being, they're paying attention. So, all right. Slowly. Oh, yeah. I see you back there. I see you back there, Michael. Glad you're here, buddy. Your timing is good. Look at this crowd. Give yourself a hand as you move your way up here. Come on, give yourself your hand. Ms. Patterson. Now these front row here are the expensive seats. So if you haven't paid your bonus, these are the expensive seats, sir. So no, get back. Come on up. Take your time, but be here in 30 seconds. Okay. Take it down just a tune so I can use my nice, sweet, humble, Barry White voice. Come on, baby, move on up. Very good. What a wonderful audience. What a wonderful audience. Look around you while they're moving. You know what I see from this angle? What I see is a wonderful, diverse audience. Wonderful, diverse audience. Wonderful, diverse audience. And you don't even know what I mean by that. First of all, I see these wonderful children, our future. Stand up, children. This is our future. You know, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You know, all of this politics, all of this Trumpism, all of the things we're doing, running for office and working in the community, it's really for these kids. It's for these kids. It's not for most of the adults. Look at me. I got one foot in the grave. It ain't for me. My wife is looking at me like, don't say that, don't say that. Come on up, everybody, if you're not coming up. Even the bartenders, come on up here. So happy that you all did what I told you to do. First of all, I want to just take a minute before even we start the formal program. First of all, I would like to have you recognize some people. First of all, we're here for VANESSA Ward. It's serious business. We may laugh, we may get a kick out of this and a kick out of that, but we're talking about serious business. But I want to recognize a group of ladies who I know very well, who came over here in a van all together just to be with VANESSA. Where are you, ladies? Stand up. Where are you? Where? Look at those. Those ladies are from Salem Village. I know every one of them, and they live in the same building with your candidate. They love her. Yeah. And by the way, when you live in the same building with somebody, you're going to find out whether you got something. Because if they don't love you, something wrong with you. But we have in the audience, we've got African Americans. We have, I see South Sudanese. I think I see a Somalian. I see Latinos. I see Caucasians. I see straight and LGBTs. I see a wide range of people. I see young people. I see people whose Social Security is getting messed with somebody you know who. So you should be proud of yourself. Give yourself a hand for this kind of audience. Pastor Allen, I want you to come stand by me here for a minute. So I wanted to recognize it. But what I'd like to do before I recognize some of the elected officials that are here and some of the other candidates, let's have prayer. And so I've asked Pastor Ken Allen of Zion Baptist Church to bless us and bless this meeting and bless this candidate and bless you too.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we have come on kingdom business tonight. We have come to do the work of citizenship, and we have gathered, oh God, because there's a cause that is before us. There is a need that is before us. And we ask your blessings upon this cause, this need, and this candidate. We ask, oh God, that you would give her the strength, the endurance, and the resilience that she needs in order to execute the task of running for governor. And then, oh God, we pray that she will turn those who will deride her and those who will minimize her efforts into supporters of her work. Because we know that they laughed at Martin King, and they laughed at Fannie Lou Hamer, and they laughed at Barbara Jordan, and they laughed at Jesse Jackson, they laughed at Oprah Winfrey, they laughed at Barack Obama, but nobody's laughing now. And so, God, because of the strength of her cause, because of the truth of her commitment, we pray that you would bless Apostle VANESSA Ward and bless this effort this evening, we pray in thy name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
At this time, do we have music we'd like to play at this time?
You can have all the money in your hands, all the possessions anyone can ever have, but it's not a word, it's pleasure. True word is only measure, not what you got, but what you got in your heart. You can have
Give the music a big hand, get big hand, big hand, big hand. What station do we have coming in there? Who is that? KMTV. I want you to hear what I have to say here. We have KMTV. We've got Channel 6, WOW. We have Channel 42. We're missing KETV. You're here? You're getting ready to get slapped. But we give them a hand for all being here. You got here right in time, baby. I'll give you time to set up, but while you're setting up, I want you all to first recognize first let me ask that if we have elected officials here, if you could stand, elected officials. I see Fred Conley, who is NRD, long-term civil servant, was the first African American on the city council and was mayor for about 30 minutes. Thank you, Fred. Larry Bradley, who currently holds NRD. You guys have a board meeting tonight, or what? What's going on? Thank you, Larry. Any other elected officials here? Give them a hand. But more importantly, we have, beside our candidate, we have several other people running for office. And guess what? Most of them are new and fresh and honest. No fake news. We have some great new candidates. And I want you to remember this phrase. Some of them are unlikely candidates. Hold your horses on that. But I'd like to recognize, first Larry, stand again. Larry is running for the Board of Regents, Nebraska Board of Regents. What district, Larry? We have Mina Davis. Where is she? I saw her earlier. Mina, have you left? She had another engagement. Mina is running. She's a candidate for LD8 for the state legislature. We have Eric Williams. Is he here? Yeah. Eric, there he is. He's running for OPBD, Sub-District 6. You don't have to worry about what district, because if they ain't on the ballot, they ain't in your district. Eric Williams. We have my good friend Noik. I cannot pronounce his last name, so I don't try, but he's a South Sudanese, and there he is. He's running for Metropolitan Community College. And we have my good friend Michael Hughes. Michael Hughes is going to be the first African American to be elected to county sheriff. And so, when I agreed to be the MC, Doug, I told them that, well, then give me the chance to speak for 3 hours. Oh no, Doug, I'm sorry. I just want to make a few comments before we bring up the introduction to our candidate. Because I'm the oldest man in the room, I can do whatever I want to do. Why are you clapping? Yeah. You know, today, many of us spent the afternoon at the MLK luncheon. It was a good luncheon put on by IMA. And we celebrated King's dreams, we celebrated history, and in a way we celebrated 2008. But I'm standing before you today to accuse you all of having historical dementia. I'm accusing you of that, of having historical dementia. Yes, you celebrate every year, but what about 2018? You know, I mentioned that many of the candidates that stood are unlikely candidates. But I want to remind you, because of your dementia, that first of all, that I've been working with candidates for office for 35 years. In 1964, several civil rights volunteers were killed on a dark highway in Mississippi to get civil rights. Unlikely at that time that we'd ever get civil rights. Yet, in 1964, we got the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Yes, and in 1965, we had Bloody Sunday in Selma. Yet, it was unlikely that in 65 that we'd have victory for voting rights, but in 1965, we got the 1965 Voting Rights Act. In 1984, there was a country preacher named Jesse Jackson who had the audacity to think that a black man could stand up and run a credible campaign for the presidency. He was an unlikely candidate, yet he got 500 delegate votes, won 5 states. It was unlikely, but he did that. In 2008, a black man with a name like Obama running for president, it was unlikely, yet he became the president of the United States. But clap if you will. Clap if you will. But we seem to have forgotten about our history and even 2008. Let me tell you what happened. In 2008, all of you, mostly all of you, of voting age, registered, and you voted like crazy. Give yourself a hand for that. You were wide awake. You were wide awake. And you handled your business. 2012, you took a cat nap. 2012, y'all took a nap. We didn't vote like we did in 08. We didn't vote like we did in 08. You took a nap. In 2016, you fell asleep. You fell asleep, and some of y'all snored. Some of y'all snored. You didn't register, and you didn't vote. You forgot. You got dementia on your civil rights history. And you fell asleep, and what did you get? You know what you got. You're getting it every day. Dismantling of the civil rights movement. Racism. Dismantling of our social program. Some of us are at fault because you fell asleep at the wheel and you had dementia about our history. So I'm challenging you tonight. We got another unlikely candidate. And you know what we learned about unlikely situations. I hope you got the point on that. I hope you got the point. But, thank you. But I'll tell you what I want to do to you tonight is I want to have you wake up. Wake up. Repeat after me. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. We got a man running to be on the Regents. Wake up. We got 2 ladies running for the Regents. Wake up. We got a man who's going to be the first black sheriff in this county, but you got to wake up. We got people running for stuff all over South Sudanese, but you got to wake up. You got to wake up. We got a woman running to get rid of Deb Fisher. Wake up. Wake up. My goodness gracious. And not only that, I'm going to urge you for breakfast to have ham and eggs. We need to get rid of bacon all day long. Wake up! So, as I take my seat, I am not introducing the candidate, but I want you all to say to her that you're going to wake up and get back on the saddle. Get the dust out of your eyes. Pick up the mantle. Make donations. Volunteer. Do what you got to do to get these candidates and that candidate in office. Ladies and gentlemen, so we're going to have Trump, 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 and bacon, bacon, bacon. Are you with me? So say, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Thank you. Wake up. This ain't no plaything. Wake up. And as I look out here, I'm so proud that you came out in 20 below zero weather. I think well, if you didn't wake up out there in that cold, you never wake up. But I feel it. I feel that after Alabama, when the people in Alabama woke up, they defeated a long-term Republican senator, long-term candidate, long-term in Alabama. That's in Alabama. What we going to do? What we going to do? So it's time to wake up. I'm confident, but I don't want you to applaud tonight and then go take a snooze. Stay awake. Stay awake. Stay awake. It's my job to bring on Isabel Yanez next. Come on, Isabel. Thank you all for your time. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Buenas noches, cada uno. My name is Isabel Yanez, and I am here tonight, and so excited to be here tonight, so happy to support an amazing woman and my very good friend, Vanessa Ward. I have gotten to know Vanessa very well, and for those of you who already know her, you will agree with me that first and foremost, Vanessa is a woman of faith. Vanessa is a woman of works. She has high energy, and she is extremely wise. I love Vanessa. Vanessa and I have a wonderful friendship based on our common love for the Lord and mutual love, respect, and trust that we have for one another. I know that I can call on Vanessa at any time, and she will be a source of strength, encouragement, and integrity. How timely that we are here today to honor Vanessa on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Martin Luther King, as you know, was a minister as well as a politician, and we remember him for all that he did and all that he said and all that he wrote. On the way over here tonight, I read a billboard with a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., and it said, "Life's most persistent question is, what are you doing for others?" That is a great question. We should all be asking ourselves that question. Reminds me of Vanessa Ward, her book entitled Of Somebody Do Something. This embraces Vanessa. I love her book. I love her life's message. And if you know Vanessa, like I know Vanessa, you know that anytime there is something to be done, Vanessa is there. Vanessa is here, and she's ready to do something for Nebraska today. I will stand beside Vanessa. You will stand beside her. And God bless you, Vanessa. She has a heart for people. She loves us. She loves people, and she's going to be a great representative for all people, people of all languages, of all colors, of all races, and all nationalities in Nebraska. She will be a great governor for all people. Vanessa for governor. Viva Vanessa! Viva Vanessa! God bless you.
Is Michelle Truxclair here? Did she? I haven't heard from her. I haven't seen her. But if she's not here, I would like some volunteers to do a reading. Would that be a problem? Can somebody come and read a poem for me? It's a very important one.
To do it.
We have a special poem for you. Yes. Look, come on up.
Good job.
Good evening. I'm Tanisha Lewis, and I am Vanessa's campaign chair, and I'm so honored to be doing that. I'm very honored to be standing with somebody who believes in serving people, and that seems to be a message that needs to be talked about right now. That said, I would like to distinguish some guests tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to welcome several very distinguished guests that are without question here with us tonight. Mr. Nat Turner. Mr. John Brown. Mrs. Sarah Jonah Truth.
Yes.
Mr. William Lloyd Garrison.
Yes. Yes.
Miss Harriet Tubman. Mr. Frederick Douglass.
Yes.
Miss Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Yes.
Miss Rosa Parks. Senator Robert Kennedy. And Mr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I'll be reading a poem called Let America Be America Again by Langston Hughes. Let America be America again. Let be the dream it used to be. Let be the pioneer on the plains seeking a home where he himself is free. America never was America to me. Let America be the dream, the dreamer's dream. Let be that great strong land of love where never kings connive or tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. It never was America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, The opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you, the nimbles in the night? And who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro, bearing slavery's scars. I am the red man, driven from the land. I am the immigrant, clutching the hope I seek, and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, a mighty crush the weak. I am the young man, full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work the man, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer, the bondsman to the soil. I am the worker sold to the machine. I am the Negro servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, mean, hungry yet today despite the dream, beaten yet today, O pioneers. I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yes, I am the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world. We're still a servant of the kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings. And every brick and stone, and every pharaoh turn, that's made America the land it has become. Oh, I am the man who sailed those earlier seas, in search of what I meant to be my home. For I am the one who left dark Ireland's shores, and Poland's plain and England's grassy lea, and torn from black Africa's strands, I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said the free? Not me. Surely not me. The millions on relief today, the millions shut down while we strike, the millions who have nothing for our pay, for all the dreams we dreamed, and all the songs we sung, and all the hopes we held, and all the flags we've hung, the millions who have nothing for our pay, except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet, and yet must be, the land where every man is free, the land that's mine, the poor man's, the Indian's, the Negro. Who made America? Whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain must bring back our mighty dream again. Sure, call me any ugly name you choose. The still of freedom does not stain. From those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our land again, America. Oh yes, I say it plain, America never was America to me. And yet I swear this oath, America will be. Out of the rack and the ruin of our gangster death, the rape and the wrath of graft, and stealth and lies, we the people must redeem the land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, and the endless plain. All the stretch of these green states, and make America again.
Very quickly, I have one thing I left out is City Council President Ben Gray wanted to make sure that I mentioned that he is absolutely for and endorsing Vanessa to be the governor. And then secondly, another just short announcement that I wanted to say that one of the reasons that Vanessa has a great chance of winning is because ministers and the clergy all over the state are going to come and work with and for her. And I wanted to acknowledge all the clergy that may be in the room, just to stand for a moment and let us give them a hand and respect. And with that, I'd like to have you welcome the chairman of the ward campaign for governor, Ms. Colleen Brennan.
Dustin's a really hard act to follow. Do not expect me to be quite as entertaining as he is. I just want, pull it down, okay. I just want to talk to you a little bit about my friend Vanessa. I met Vanessa during a particularly tough time in my life. Many of you here may know of my struggles of raising a child profoundly affected by autism, my beautiful late son Matthew. One of the hardest challenges with autism is that children affected by it have disturbed sleep cycles, and Matthew would go as many as 72 hours without sleep at a stretch. And I would write about these challenges on Facebook to both raise awareness for severe autism and also to connect with others, as the disorder my son had was terribly isolating for me. Facebook was often my only connection to the outside world for many years, and I could do little more than care for my son. Vanessa saw my Facebook posts and reached out for me, offering prayers and help. She invited me to a church Bible study, and Matthew and I attended one Wednesday morning. The church, they prayed for Matthew, and they treated him with amazing kindness and acceptance, and thus began a close friendship between Vanessa and myself. Vanessa really is a special woman, the very definition of what it means to be Christian, holy, and godly. She is perhaps the most virtuous human being I've ever met, and she certainly represents my favorite virtues. Truth. Vanessa always stands in her truth, even if it goes against what is popular. She reminds me a bit of Jimmy Carter in this respect, and who among us here can think of one bad thing to say about President Jimmy Carter? He is a man of truth, a great ambassador for the United States, and beloved by many. I see Vanessa in this way, beloved for her truthfulness. Sacrifice. I know a thing or two about sacrifice. My parents sacrificed much so that I could attend Catholic school, sacrificed much for my late disabled brother Tim. Because of their example, I learned how to sacrifice, and I was prepared to raise my 4 children, 3 of whom have special needs. I've sacrificed for them my entire adult life. I recognize this ability immediately in Vanessa. She regularly cooks for her community, providing meals for those who have less than she, and she herself has so little. She is also a caregiver, she also was a caregiver to her husband Keith, who was a double amputee due to his diabetes and lack of health care regarding this. Now, we are talking about the effects of severe poverty. Vanessa's family suffered greatly from this. Still, she shared, much like the woman in the Bible who gave her last 3 coins to the temple. Vanessa has given all she has to her family and her community. How many can boast such giving? Frugality. Few people understand the true value of the dollar quite the way Vanessa does. She knows how to make it stretch, and she's often had to make difficult financial decisions just to survive. I don't think I need to explain this further to any of you here. She's poor. She will not waste money or the resources. It isn't within her to do so. The opposite of her opponent, who has spent millions on his own campaign. That's ridiculous. Balance. Vanessa isn't a liberal or a conservative. She is balanced. She looks at all sides of issues when making decisions and chooses the best option possible. Now, isn't this what we should all strive for? Discipline. These last few months working with Vanessa has taken a great deal of discipline on her part. She's had a lot to learn, as did all of us working with her, and she's brilliant at quick study. I'm confident that Vanessa has the discipline to govern our state. She is tireless in her efforts to improve herself, and that is the quality of a great leader, the willingness to grow. And growth takes what? Discipline. Civility. Well, anyone who's ever met Vanessa knows she is the embodiment of civility. She couldn't be rude if she tried. She speaks to people from all walks of life as if they were members of her own family. She's been terribly criticized regarding her friendship with Mayor Gene Stothert. The mayor has attended Vanessa's famous block parties, parties Vanessa holds to bring North Omaha together as a community and end gang violence. It's a beautiful thing she has done, and inviting all to participate, reaching across the aisle politically. There was a time in our history when this quality, working together rather than working against each other, was seen as admirable. Who disagrees with the words and the actions of Jack and Bobby Kennedy? Civility is lacking today. Vanessa will bring that back to us. And finally, courage. I can't even wrap my brain around the amount of courage it takes to approach rival gang members and work with them to end violence on a block. This is why she has a street named after her. Most people are honored with streets that are named after them after they have passed away, but Vanessa is honored due to her work and her commitment to end violence. Now I want all of you to do this. Can you all raise your hand? This symbol meant victory to my grandparents, John and Irene Cowa. My grandfather was a World War II vet. This symbol represents peace to my parents, Terry and Marilyn Brennan, during the Vietnam War of the 60s. But today, this symbol will represent to my generations and others, Vanessa, one of the greatest teachers and a dear friend. Peace, victory, Vanessa. Can you all say that with me? Peace, victory, Vanessa. One more time. Peace, victory, Vanessa. Now, after you've all heard her speak, you'll have a decision to make. We need your support. Running a campaign requires a great amount of money, and we need every penny we can get. We simply don't have the same resources as our opponent. So please, when you walk out the door today, empty your pockets. We need your help. We cannot do this alone. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our honored guest, the fabulous Vanessa Ward.
Good job, Vanessa.
Yeah, Vanessa. What y'all think about that? Yeah. Now go on. No. Come on, y'all. Sit down now. Yeah. Whoa. Wasn't that wonderful? Vanessa. And then Isabel, you brought it in, sweetheart. Jesus. Yeah, this is nice. Yeah, everybody, I want to say thank you for coming out. It's cold out there, and look at you. We have so many things going on in our city, but you chose to be here. I just want to say thank you. Preston, come on here, Preston, let me touch you. Preston! Preston, I really think you missed your calling. You should have been a stand-up comedian. You're the best ever. Thank you. Isabel, thank you for believing in me. Thank you for coming all the way, and your husband. Bishop waved to us. Bishop Yanez, her husband. Thank you for coming all the way from Des Moines to be here with me tonight. You could have stayed at home and watched it on the news. Thank you for that. Oh my God, Tanisha, you brought in the reading of that poem. You were called on last minute. You didn't even know you were going to read that work of art, Langston Hughes, Let's Make America, America Again. And then Colleen with her sweet sounding voice. You hear the power? You hear the power? I just want to give a little backdrop on what happened there. Colleen's son passed at the same time my husband of 50 years passed, with months in between each other. And both of us know about being caregivers and how much that requires, but also knowing that we wouldn't have changed that for the world. We wanted to be there for our loved ones. And Colleen kind of spiraled down after her son passed, and I kind of went in a different direction because I knew my husband was with the Lord, and I found a peace in that. And so she had a message for me that she couldn't deliver until she got past some personal things herself. So she calls me and she says, Vanessa, I got a message that I believe that you should be doing something more than you're already doing. I said, okay, let's go on over to the church. We sat quietly, and then I kept hearing all of these political ramifications. I said, you want me to run for mayor? She said, no, governor. I started thinking, I said, I could do that. She said, I know you're worried about the money, but that's never been the way I see things. I feel like if it's God's will, it's God's bill. Somebody hear that? If it's God's vision, it's God's provision. Huh? I'm not worried about the money. It will come. It will come if this is what I should be doing. So I got to give some thank yous beyond Preston, Colleen, Isabel, and Tanisha for that poem. I want to thank my family tonight. Y'all in here? Somebody here? Hey, my family, y'all here? That may not be all of them. Hey, I also want to say thank you to all my friends. Y'all in here? Okay, what about my supporters down through the years? You've been with me. Those 20 years we've been giving that block party. Y'all in here? Kind of thought so. And then my church, Afresh, you in here? I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, Andy. Thank you for being out there working the table. Thank you for being such a support. I just want to say thank you to all the young people in the house, whether you see yourself or not. Where's my young people at? No, I'm talking about the young people. I'm talking about the next generation. Where y'all at tonight? Okay, we got to encourage them. But I'm telling you, it's good that you're here tonight because we are making history. You'll be able to say, I was there. I was there on that cold night at the top of that big building when Vanessa Ward was talking to us about her life and her future projections. I was there. Glad you're here tonight. So let me start from the beginning. I have so many questions like, okay, who are you? Boom. Let's start from the beginning. I was born just a few blocks from here over on 30th and R Street. Y'all know where the projects are? That's where I was born, right there in the projects. My dad and mom were this awesome couple, not just because they had me. Somebody see Vanessa? That's not the only reason they were awesome. They taught me to love Nebraska and Nebraskans. My dad was the first / only African-American barber who opened his own barbershop right over there on 27th and Q. I don't know if y'all knew that. And the name of the barbershop, check this out, was American Barbershop. So what does that tell you? A man in the late 40s, early 50s, entrepreneur, opens a barbershop and calls it the American Barbershop. Dad was a firm and disciplined man. Not to be mean or harsh. Young people, hear me tonight. Sometimes I think you see us as just being these people that just don't understand. But all the time, he just wanted his children to grow up to be somebody. He taught us about civic pride and the importance of government, being a good citizen, and appreciating the right to vote. I'm having a Martin Luther King moment. Just give me a moment. We moved out of the project in pursuit of the American dream to own our own home in the near north side of Omaha. Now, anybody that's born and raised here knows that in those days, we were all in these borders. Our furthest north Omaha border was Ames. As African Americans, you could not purchase a home outside of that or really travel safely. Our furthest south Omaha border was Cummings. And we couldn't go east of 16th and west of 30th. You were outside of your turf. So Dad and Mom would take us out into the latter parts or the outer parts of Nebraska. Our great state, we could see beyond our inner city. Somebody hear me? You can begin to see people that are different than yourself. You can begin to see a bigger picture than boxed in to a certain area and told that this is all you can have, this is all you can be. Don't forget, while we're venturing out in the Great Plains of Nebraska in the early 60s, this would be considered very dangerous for African Americans. Yet we would go visit John Brown's cave, or we would go to Seward, Nebraska to visit the college, and then we met people through our church, so they would have us come out and have family dinner, children different in color, different in culture, but guess what? It made no difference. Dad would teach us while we were on our way back home safely that Nebraska is the heart of America. So goes the heart, so goes the country. Mom taught virtues. She insisted on each one of us telling the truth, being the best you can be, holding your head up, being kind to people. Mom established order, the distribution of labor, young people, in other words, chores, and taught the penalties for failure to comply. In other words, you don't do your chores, punishment. Mom was infamous for her candy apples and popcorn ball. Many of you know about Miss Lofton. She was the best. She would sell them out the back door to make ends meet and to give back to the community. She was hosting block parties, feeding the hungry, or help to anyone that needed it. Those were the best and the worst times for me as an African American. The civil rights movement was unfolding clear across the country, right in my living room, in my classrooms, and in my neighborhood. Everything was on fire. Dad would say, come in here, everybody, and watch and listen to Martin Luther King Jr. I want you to listen to hear what John Kennedy said. Come on in here and listen to Bobby Kennedy speak. And eventually, we witnessed the repercussions of their assassination. My dad wanted us to learn about the struggle that has always gone on between the powerful and the powerless. What is the American dream? For me, it's a duty. It's an obligation to my community. It's a sacrifice, but if I can use my talents to bring people back together, to help people understand that democracy requires cooperation, that's the real progress required, that all of us working together, then my sacrifice would have been worthwhile. We all know that something's terribly wrong with our nation, something even deeper than politics. Today, people burst into concerts, they're murdering their parents, they come into the workplace, schools full of little children, and kill everybody. And then kill themselves. Politicians get on their soapboxes and scream about gun control or illegal immigration. They shout murder or racist at their political opponents and completely ignore the complexity of our problems. And we, the people, we can do nothing more than cry, victims of our own rage. All we hear from Washington and Lincoln these days are vicious attacks hurled at political opponents. All sense of decency have disappeared in search of that absolute remedy. Back and forth, both sides hurl the most insulting and hurtful insults, and the truth is impossible to know. What is the truth? Even the national media has chosen their sides. Hate and anger has become so dominant that no one is listening, and no one really knows what to believe. As a result, trust has been lost. And I speak from experience. Without trust, there can be no democracy. There can be no progress. The reason that trust has been lost is that our government is no longer controlled by we the people. Our government is controlled almost exclusively by the rich and the powerful.
Yes, yes.
Some people call it the establishment, and it's real. It does not operate in the interest of the greater good, but purely in its own self-interest. And understand this tonight. This is not a Republican thing, nor a Democratic thing. The establishment is a small group of power brokers that use their money and their power to acquire more money and more power. And the bondage of our elected representatives, do you hear it? Today in America,
Yes.
we the people, I like the way Preston said it, needs to wake up. We the people serve only the interests of the rich and powerful who serve themselves as a feeding trough of our government and our future.
Yes.
Now go ahead, we're going to take a moment. We're going to take a on, we're going to have a Martin Luther King break right there. Many of you have heard the term super PACs. Well, super PACs are a collection of billionaires who donate hundreds of millions of dollars with the specific intent of influencing our elections. The Supreme Court has said this is a teaching moment, their Citizens United decision that money is the same, check this out, as free speech. And it cannot be curtailed. Now, for my young people out here tonight, I took the liberty to look that up. Curtailed means stopped before finished, limit something, or reduce something. So when the Supreme Court said that it cannot be curtailed, their decision was wrong. In his dissenting opinion, Justice John Paul Stevens said it this way: a democracy cannot function effectively when its constituent members, such as you and myself, believe that laws should be bought and sold. And that's exactly what's happening tonight. Not only are laws, but access and control of your elected representatives and thousands of pages of regulation, special provisions in our tax code written just for them. Friends, come on, I need you to hear me tonight. We've been taken for a ride and we're tired of paying for the gas. Just like Paul Revere said, we've got to wake up our countrymen to this danger. People who donate hundreds and millions of dollars to political process want something in return, whether right wing or left wing, honest or dishonest. Super rich who put that kind of money into the process simply diminishes the vote and the opinion of those of us who cannot. No matter what the Supreme Court said, no matter what the Supreme Court has said, this is outrageous. It is devaluing of the average voter, is un-American as anything that has ever influenced the American political process. We'll take a pause there. Martin Luther King moment. Martin Luther King moment. And that is why tonight, just down the street where I was born, I humbly announce my candidacy for the Democratic Party nomination for the governor of Nebraska. It's okay. It's okay to make a little noise. It's okay. Yeah, let's get it done. It's okay tonight. It's okay tonight. If just in case somebody's in here and they might be saying, why her? I find it somewhat hard to believe myself day to day. But what my friends and family keep reminding me, like Isabel and Colleen and Preston, and now you hear Ben Gray, and come on y'all, what they keep reminding me is that I've been fighting this fight for a long time. I've been fighting against impossible odds where hate and anger ruled. I've been building trust and cooperation where most thought it was impossible. And I faced the possibility of death for my cause. Yeah, I know how to fight this fight. The good thing is that getting started is the most natural thing on earth. I like the way Brother Gray was talking at the luncheon today. He gave us all the facts, he told us all the problem, then he turned the page, Preston. Yes. He began to tell us what we can do. Y'all remember that?
Yes.
He said, all we have to do, I'm about to tell you mine tonight, I'm turning the page. All we have to do is acknowledge that we need each other.
Yes.
No, that's all you gotta do. Can we start there? All we have to do is acknowledge that we need each other as human beings and as partners in this democracy. You see, I know from experience that you'll never be able to defeat evil with hate. I know how to move forward, and you can't keep rehashing the past. Because every time you keep looking back at what it would have, should have, could have been, somebody hear me on that?
Yes.
You're only going to keep bringing up the things that kept us down in the first place. We're going to have to move forward. We're going to have to move toward a dream. We're going to have a the king moment right there. We're going to move toward a dream. Somebody hear that? Something better. Something that would be better for all, not just for a few. Once again, we must bind together as we, the people, and fix a broken system that only we can fix. Preston said it this way: wake up. Right here in Nebraska, we can show the nation a better way.
Yes.
The next thing we must do, y'all ready? Y'all ready for the next thing? I'm acknowledging tonight, I need you. The next thing we must do is trust in the truth. You see, I believe that Nebraskans and Americans as a whole are starving to hear the truth. Not the Democratic truth, not the Republican truth, but the whole truth. So help me God. I believe that if Nebraskans of every stripe start hearing the truth again, they will rally toward it and begin a revolution that could spread like wildfire through the entire nation. I believe tonight that fire is in this room right here, right now, tonight. If we just stand for principles again, something greater than ourselves, and mean it, we can lead this nation. Truth. What is it? For me, the truth that I had to face when I started out in an impossible situation is I had to recognize that I needed to be humbled. I had to recognize that that anger, that opinionated stuff that was in me, where I hated the gang members, I hated the trash in the street, I hated the police helicopter hovering over my China captain, I hate it. That's the truth. But I knew that that truth would have to dispensate in order for me to make positive change. And I knew that if I called in the church, and you know I love the church, I knew if I called in the city officials, and I know you have power, that goes back home. And then that negative element comes out as soon as you leave. That's the truth. In that, you have to be willing to do what it takes to meet people where they are. Are you willing to go in the backyard and pick out a trash can and roll it up the street, not just picking up your trash, but picking up the neighbor's trash or picking up this neighbor's trash? Are you willing tonight to recognize that the truth is going to take some work? The truth means that I may not have all the answers, I may not even like you, but if you're willing to work together, the truth is we need to do just that. We need to do just that. I'm talking to you tonight. Well, some will say that there is no way someone such as myself can win a campaign for governor against one of the richest men in America.
Unlikely.
But I say, watch us. Nebraskans are some of the best people in the world. You are hardworking, character-driven, thoughtful, loving, and virtuous. If they can't see what's right with me and what's wrong with my opponent, then I take full responsibility. Then it's my fault. I'm not going to blame it on racism. I'm not going to blame it on sexism. I'm not going to say it's about the money. That's just adversity, and I know all about that. Ultimately, it's about leadership. It's about demonstrating to people that you want to work with them. Yep, we in there. You got to meet people where they are and say, I want to work with you. You don't want to come to the table telling everybody what you want, where you want them to be. I never would have got the success record in 20 years had I came and told people what I want. I had to meet them. I knew what we all wanted. We wanted that cloud of gloom moved. We wanted the gang members not to have us scared inside of our house. We wanted to come out and let our children play in the front yard. I knew what we all wanted, but everybody wasn't ready to take that on. You got to be willing to tell the truth. It's about building partnerships in a relationship. It's about watching every penny of the taxpayers' money like it's your own. It's about measuring results and constantly improving. Leadership is not about how much money you or I have. It's about character. It's about wisdom. And it's about vision. I stand before you tonight. Right here in this cold, outside where it's cold. I stand before you this evening because good people like you believe I have these leadership qualities. that I have what it takes to be a good governor. If it wasn't motivated by politics, which is not, or taking the next stone in my political career, which is not, it certainly wasn't because of all my money. Somebody hear me tonight. It was because I know how to bring people together. Y'all up in here, ain't you? No. No, y'all up in here, ain't you? Even people that have been divided by hatred and anger, I know how to work toward a vision to achieve the extraordinary. I know how to hold people accountable. I do not play politics, and I know I can do the same as your governor. My campaign chair said tonight, with that sweet voice that she has, that I'm the most qualified person in Nebraska to do what needs to be done. With the help of the people of Nebraska, I believe I can. But that's all completely up to you. Somebody hear that tonight? No, I'm talking to you. That's up to you. I can't do it without you. Now, in contrast to me, we're not going to spend a lot of time on my opponent, who is the poster child for the rich and powerful and for the establishment. His family, has spent tens of millions of dollars. Y'all been hearing that over and over. My opponent himself has brought legislation. But don't get me wrong. I have nothing against the wealthy. I still believe in the American dream. I want that for my children, my grandchildren, and your grandchildren. But I also believe in fairness, equitably treatment under the law. And I believe every American citizen deserves to have his or her vote count as strongly as any other American. Right now, that's not happening. Right now, that's not happening. For those of you who have been watching the news, some members of our parties have been calling me out for supporting Mayor Jean for my voting record, or rather my lack of voting record. That's not voting with certainty. That's not what my dad taught me. In regard to Mayor Jean, the truth is that when I needed help, both her and Dobb stepped up and to the plate, and they supported me in all that I endeavored. They made government resources available to help me. They supported me in other ways that both came into my neighborhood, spent time with me and the neighbors. Everybody knows that. Now, tell me, what sense does it make for me to ignore all that, support a wonderful young man I never met, just because he's a Democrat? That's certainly wrong. What's wrong with politics today? You're going to have to stay loyal to the party. Now check this out. At the cost of progress for all of us? Your state, your country? No. I certainly do not agree with everything Mayor Jean stands for. I certainly do not agree with everything Governor Rickett or President Trump stands for. Every one of them deserves my respect and my support when they're willing to work together for what's right. Somebody hear that? We're not politicking in here. We're talking about working together for what's right. That's the American way. And those are the ideals my dad taught me when he constantly said to us when we were young, you are a Democrat. You are a Democrat. In regard to not voting for the last however many years, I let my father down again. I explained to Joe Jordan that when my husband lost his legs, we didn't have enough money to even breathe. Voting wasn't a priority, but it was more than that. The truth is that it's been a long time since the political process has held any interest for me. I've seen firsthand how politicians have used our poverty for their own means. I've seen how money intended to help us has ended up in the pockets of few. I've seen people exploit our community from one end to the other. I've seen how the system that was intended to help has made the situation worse. And I've seen how the resulting anger, resentment, and humiliation has destroyed life. Like many of you, I could not see how it would make any difference one way or the other if I voted. But now, I'm running for governor because I think I I can change all that. I'm running for governor because we have a plan that will help us to begin with recreating the Democratic Party. The party that my father believed in. The party that Bobby Kennedy believed in. The party that Bob Kerrey believes in. And that you and I believe in. The Democratic Party, I believe in, was founded on high ideals. Chief among these was the truth. Not the Democratic truth, not the Republican truth, but the whole truth. The Democratic Party that I believe in is looking out for the interests of those less fortunate in our society and stands firmly on fairness and equality under the law. Let's make America, America again. The Democratic Party that I believe in knows that diversity makes us stronger, but understand that diversity should never take power over our unity. Let's make America, America again. The Democratic Party that I believe in knows that taxes should be fair, simple, transparent. It's not the government's money, but it's the people's money. And therefore, it is our sacred trust to be frugal. Let's make America, America again. The Democratic Party that I believe in knows we must protect our environment, but not at the cost of losing our common sense. Let's make America, America again. The Democratic Party that I believe in knows that one vote should count the same as any other vote. Let's make America, America again. The Democratic Party that I believe in knows that looking forward and not backwards to find failures of the past is the only real path to progress. Let's make America, America again. And finally, the Democratic Party that I believe in knows that the state of Nebraska is the most wonderful place on earth, and that we have a solemn duty to lead with virtue so as to be an example to the entire world. Somebody try that with me. Let's make America, America again. Come on, y'all, put your hands together in here. Yeah, we can do this. Woo, we can do this. I got a Martin Luther King moment. Y'all ready? I'm gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I'm gonna let nobody turn me around. I've got to keep on marching, keep on marching, keep on marching till we're freedom bound. I'm gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I'm gonna let nobody turn me around. I've got to keep on voting, keep on voting, keep on voting till we're freedom bound. Let's make America, America again. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to invite the children to come up on the stage, please. Can you all come up just for a moment to be with Miss Vanessa?
I'm gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I'm gonna let nobody turn me around. I've got to keep on marching, keep on marching, keep on marching till we're freedom bound. I'm gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around,
freedom bound. I'm gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I'm gonna let nobody turn me around. I've got to keep on voting, keep on voting, keep on voting till we're freedom bound. Let's make America, America, yeah! I'm gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. I'm gonna let nobody turn me around. I've got to keep on marching, keep on marching, keep on marching till we're freedom bound. I'm gonna let nobody